So I went out and visited Greenfield's continuing care community. It's very different now during the pandemic if you want to go and have a look at a care facility and find maybe a place for your loved ones. They do have an open day coming up and it is going to be a little bit different. So I spoke to them about that and also about the virtual tours they have available. So check this out. We are here at the Greenfields Continuing Care Community. We are going to visit with Laurie Hannon, who is the Senior Living Director, and find out a little bit more about this place. But I got to say, it feels like a hotel, and I like it. Laurie, tell us about Greenfields. It's amazing.
It is. Greenfields is a retirement community here in Lancaster, and we offer independent living, assisted living, memory care, enhanced assisted living, skilled nursing, inpatient rehabilitation, and outpatient therapy, as well as respite care. And it's all on one campus, and our residents have priority access to all the levels of care.
How has finding, care and places like this, how has it changed with the pandemic, and what are people going through finding a place for their loved ones to move into during this time?
Well, I think for the senior themselves, it became very difficult when you were relying on outside support, whether it be family or someone to come and help you in your home, whether it's caring for your house, grocery shopping, meals, personal care, and all of a sudden that was not there anymore, and how are you going to deal with that? That became very difficult, and not to mention the isolation. It became very detrimental for many people, and even for families. They now were looking at mom or dad and realizing they're not doing as well as I thought that they were doing in their home, and especially if they had any type of cognitive issues, that became much more apparent because of the isolation. So we have been finding residents, seniors, their families coming to us to relieve that, so they can come here and get their meals. They were able to get groceries. They were able to have people care for them, and also have the safe social interaction with their fellow residents and staff, so that isolation wasn't there that they might have found in their home.
And you have an open house coming up. How are you doing things differently because of COVID?
Yes, we have two open houses planned, October 21st and November 18th. And it will be an open house in our independent living only. And we do require that everyone has an appointment, and as our guests come in, they will be screened, have their temperature taken, and we show one or two apartments, and then the guests will be able to have an opportunity to see the common areas through our virtual tour, which is also on our website, thegreenfields.org. For our other levels of care, we can do FaceTime or Zoom appointments, so people can see exactly what our other levels offer, and talk almost face to face, if you can say that through video, and see what we can provide, what we have to offer, and why Greenfields is the best choice.
What is so great about living here at Greenfields?
I think the best thing about living at Greenfields, besides all the wonderful feeling of security and being safe, is the social interactions that residents have with the staff, with other residents, and the things that they can do together, and just know that just down the hall, there's a friend.
Linda's AM Buffalo wardrobe, provided by Chico's, 5151 Main Street, Williamsville. Call 634-3794.
It sure is, and I love it. Hey everybody, this Saturday you can drive to make strides against breast cancer. It's happening Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Walden Galleria. Now, our Katie Morris will be there, and you are asked to kind of dress up your car in pink and celebrate Breast Cancer Awareness Month. You can get your pink Buffalo Strong apparel at WKBW.com, Buffalo Strong, or go to makingstrideswalk.org/Buffalo. And Mel, we're going to have our pink shirts tomorrow because we're picking them up today, so we can really get in the spirit of things, right?
Yes, they better be at the station because we're going to drive out. Hey, Mark, get our shirts ready. He better be watching. I'm looking forward to getting them. I love the Buffalo Strong shirts, and I'm getting quite a collection. I've got the blue ones for Feed More. I've got the green ones for If You Give a Child a Book, and then the pink one. I'm really looking forward to having some pink. Did you know, Linda, in the town that I grew up in, they did a big breast cancer foundation a big ball they would have every year where people would dress up and it would be a great party, and they called it the Boob Ball. It's officially called that. And so I always think that. I'm like, that's just such a great name to give something. It stands out. It makes you think, I mean, that's what we're taking care of with this. So, yeah, think about that. Take care of yours. But making strides for breast cancer should be a whole lot of fun. That'll be a great event to go to. And, of course, Katie will be there. So I think I was just waiting to see if you were going to say something. Sometimes we get a little bit of a delay and we talk at the same time, and then it gets into our conversation, but that's okay. Linda, I want to let you know, I spoke with John Lipsitz from Lipsitz and Ponterio. They are an amazing law firm in Western New York that have been doing phenomenal work helping fight for justice for those affected by mesothelioma and asbestos-related diseases. And they've been together for 25 years as a firm, working in this area for longer than that. And they have a wealth of knowledge and a huge library of evidence. And I spoke with John Lipsitz about how they gather their evidence. This is really interesting. Check it out on AM Buffalo. Good morning.
For over 25 years, the attorneys at Lipsitz and Ponterio have led the way in shaping asbestos law in New York State. John Lipsitz joins us now on AM Buffalo.
John, you and Michael are celebrating 25 years as a firm, but you have both been working together for longer than 25 years.
We started working together in 1985. We were working at another firm, and they had a substantial caseload of asbestos disease cases, including asbestosis cases and mesothelioma cases. But at that time, you couldn't really pursue them in New York State courts because the statute of limitations really cut those cases right off at the knees. But about a year and a half after we began working together, the legislature in New York passed a statute which opened up a window allowing old cases to proceed and new cases to go forward.
You guys were at the very beginning of these kind of legal cases. You must have gathered so much evidence over the years.
So I remember spending 3 or 4 days in an old dusty warehouse on Hurdle Avenue, going through probably hundreds of cardboard boxes filled with invoices that went back 20 or 30 years, very dusty. I remember going through them and saying, wow, there must be hundreds of different job sites represented by these thousands and thousands of invoices. What if we ended up with clients over the next couple of years from these different job sites? We ought to make sure we keep these materials. And we were able to digitize them, and they form part of a library of information that we have, which we are constantly drawing on to help new clients. Mike, for example, got over to Bethlehem Steel with a photographer for an inspection before the coke ovens, which were huge structures, were torn down about 20 some years ago. And we have a whole series of pictures depicting the coke ovens, which are very useful for current clients who say, yeah, I worked on this level, or I worked on top of the coke oven. So that kind of stuff is very helpful.
Wow, I'm seeing a new TV show procedural, Lipsitz and Ponterio, solving the cases of Western New York.
If you do that, I would rather have you film me arguing a case in the Court of Appeals in Albany rather than looking like I had just come out of a dust storm. But
But no, I mean, jokes aside, it's just such an amazing resource that you have. And the reality is there is a tragic history in Western New York with a lot of factories and people who worked there, and not just the workers in the factories, but their families were affected, people who lived in the neighborhoods around the factories.
Once you have a diagnosis of a disease linked to asbestos exposure, you need to consult an attorney, and I think you should look for an attorney with experience in the area. And we have experience in that area. 35 years on my part and Mike's part, and you look at the lawyers in our firm, and well over 100 years if you consider the depth of experience that we have.